Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're joined by a very special guest and his pants. It's Connor.
Hello.
What up, Connor?
I'm ConnorEatsPants.
What's
the
going on?
Fortnite Friday maestro.
Is
Hello.
that it's like back in the day username and it's just stuck with you? Or
Yeah, well,
there's some
I got
truth to
it.
it?
I was I just made a YouTube channel that I was gonna actually work on because I'd made a couple or a bunch as a kid, but I was making a PlayStation Network name. And I was like, okay, I'll use this as my YouTube name. And I just kept trying things. I was like, what do I remember?
Right.
And I kept remembering. The one thing that came to my mind was the iCarly episode where they tell Mr. Howard that he eats pants. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just do that.
That is my cultural blind spot. That and what's that high school one? I'm going to high school.
High School Musical.
Musical.
Looks time for high school or something.
It's time
Hey, it's my friends and we're at high school. Come on.
There's a bunch of those.
There's so many in
Name
high school.
One.
Is it a Disney show? Is it a
I think
Nickelodeon
so.
show?
And he's
Do you
like,
know
I'm
the
going to
any of the
school.
actors are now famous?
Were they on a cruise ship?
No, they're like students at a high school.
Oh, okay. So
And he's like, oh no, I'm late for the high school.
The
Boy
Breakfast
Meets
Club.
World. Boy Meets World is
It's
kind of
adjacent to Boy. It's got Screech
Girl Meets
or
World.
something.
It's got Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell at high school.
That's also a blind spot
It
because
should
that
be
was
called Saved at the High School.
Yeah. Well,
Saved by the Bell is kind of old. Yeah, it's older.
Should be called Not Degrassi.
Yeah, now that's not my blind spot.
How the hell are you doing?
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. I'm doing okay. The air's a little thin, but
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we should rip this Band-Aid off. We are in Los Angeles. We are still, LA fires are still active.
We're exactly 1 week away from the quarantine warning starting, basically.
Yeah,
it's not a quarantine. It's the opposite of a quarantine, actually.
I guess it's self-imposed quarantine to get away from the smoke
Right.
unless
Yeah,
you're closer, yeah.
because we I don't want to give too much geographical information, but we're near one of the major fires, and so obviously we canceled our recording last week. I think we put out a little statement about that. Thanks everybody for being patient with us. We're all safe, which is very fortunate because it's could have very easily not been the case.
It's just luck.
It's just complete luck. And most of it was just, for myself, it was mostly just being 24/7 anxiety about being on the Watch Duty app and watching the progression of the fires and evac zones and packing up and having a go bag, having the car packed up, being ready to go, but then not going outside if I could avoid it because the air quality was so bad. It was raining ash.
Yeah.
Here for the longest time.
It did really feel like one of those, if there's ever any kind of even minor earthquake that happens here, I get a dozen messages from my British cohort. And they're just what happened? You fall in a big crack, die?
Yeah.
And I didn't even feel it. This just happens sometimes. And then this one I reached out to my aunt before they even woke up in the UK. I'm like, I'm okay, by the way.
Yeah.
You are going to see news and you should. It is actually happening.
Yeah.
I saw the rock movie San Andreas with my mom in 2014, and now that I live out here, she's constantly thinking that it's going to be the one where
Right.
the earth
It was
opens
San
up.
Andreas
Same
fault.
thing happened with that movie where he's in a tower and he doesn't have a leg.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but I
My
wanted
dad's
to.
always reaching out. He's like, you got a leg? I'm like, yeah, still got. You in a tower?
He loses a leg in that?
He is, the hook of it for some reason is not just that they're in a Die Hard style situation. It's that he also only has one leg.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which
It's
seems like a
skyscraper,
kind of
right?
an
Is what it's
unnecessary.
called?
Yeah, that's one.
Whoa,
I think
okay.
it's called One Leg.
Oh.
I think it's called Rock's Leg. Where's my leg? Dude,
where's my leg? Yeah, so it's funny because we have Connor on this week, and just to so first of all, I want to give all of the credit in the world to the firefighters and everyone who's been working to contain and deal with the fires. And we're by no means out of the woods yet. Fires are beginning to be contained.
it's overly easy for us to compartmentalize it now and not appreciate that, especially the incarcerated firefighters that are at risk
Exactly.
not getting paid.
And the DEI firefighters.
Oh,
Right,
these
of course.
guys.
Yeah. It's obviously been politicized, but no, the real is that, there's a lot of firefighters mobilized. A lot of them are incarcerated and are working for $10 a day and putting their life on the line. $10 a day max.
With non-transferable skill, they can't use it after they get out because I don't think you can be a firefighter.
It's like there's like a weird thing where it's like just difficult to become one. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really shitty situation all around. We know a lot of people who've lost their homes. Thankfully, I don't personally know anyone who's like lost any loved ones, but definitely there were victims of the fire. A lot of people who couldn't evacuate in time. It was so alarmingly fast how quickly everything accelerated,
especially pivoting off of the wind.
Right, because
the day before was the wind.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the wind was like, okay, that was the thing that was on my mind. Like I had some outdoor furniture that like blew over.
Yeah, I lost pillows on my outdoor furniture.
I had a neighbor text me that like, hey, do you know what this is? It just like landed in front of my door. And it's like a neighbor that lives like kind of like a house. It's like the opposite end of the next door house. And it was Dipper's dog bed. That's like, there's an outdoor dog bed that we have for him. That's like, and it had just like blown out and I guess flown in front of the door. And like, that's what I'm thinking of. And then, I like heard about the Palisades fire, but then I was like working that day, wasn't paying attention. We had Connor coming on the next day. Connor and I were like joking around about the winds. Like we're just talking about the winds, and not an hour later, there's like another fire that's picked up and spread. And suddenly, we're all on emergency watch, and we need to like, it's not like now it's like less about the podcast and more about like, are we going to have to evacuate?
Yeah, it's weird because I mean, last time we didn't do the show.
Yeah, this is the third time that like there was like an emergency that like canceled the ConnorEatsPants podcast.
You are an omen. You can't be unrelated.
Yeah, I was kind of worried today that like something would happen.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, knock on wood, but
maybe I'll do some.
All right.
Connor, what was your experience like with the fires?
Yeah, that night was like the wind the wind was crazy, and like I went out on like my porch.
You posted that story of you just about to be sucked into the hurricane.
Yeah, I was like outside, like trying to like see what it was like. I was like, I can't stand out here. Like I'm gonna get blown away. And knew that was bad because there shouldn't be like 100-mile-per-hour winds in like Los Angeles.
I feel like I was a little bit, when you like get in the zone with whatever, you're like locked in on something. Maybe it's a game, maybe it's your work or whatever. And you're like, I haven't really stepped outside today. It was like, that was the feeling of like looking at the news and being like, oh my God, we're in the middle of a disaster.
Do I need to be stepping out more and looking at
I was like,
like
how could I have missed this? But it's because it all happened so fast.
I'm just sending to Jacob. This is the experience on the night that it was kind of kicking off. This is the experience of corresponding with Connor. Hope you're safe, dude. Connor replies, where do fires come from? Do you like your profile pic, by the way?
I do. I love that.
They give you a mewing smile.
It's like me.
I do think that's better than my profile pic on your phone, and mine is an actual photograph of me.
What are you on mine? It's just a nice photo of you.
Yeah, I know, and that looks more like him than that photo.
Am I still Winnie the Pooh on yours?
Yeah.
I'm like a disturbing burnt
and I don't even remember what it's from.
It's a reference to nothing. But yeah, so shout out to everybody that has been struggling. Hopefully this comes out in 2 days.
You guys evacuated.
We did. So part of it was because we were getting like tentative warnings, and on some level knowing like, well, we're on the outskirts. Again, not giving away too much information, but like we are not in. There's plenty of urban fires happening, but as far as like the wind direction and the kind of like flammable environment, we're pretty isolated, more like kind of a downtown space. But then I was thinking that purely on assumption. I was just like, it was almost like a cope. I was thinking like, well, it's not going to get here because of X and Y. And then I'm like, I do think that was, do you guys get the sense that people were a little more conscientious about it using COVID cynicism? I felt like a lot of people were like, you could just say, oh, it's not going to get to me. And then they went like, well, that's what I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I woke up. So like that night I went to bed and I started like doom reading about all of the
night prior as it was coming out.
So like Tuesday night, I think it was when all of the winds were supposed to reach their peak.
Yeah.
And so that was terrifying because it was like, oh, they're going to reach the peak at like 3 a.m. And I was like, oh, so do I sleep? Like, what am I going to wake up if an alarm happens?
Yeah, me and Katie talked about like, should we be doing shifts or something? I think my fear was less that something was going to happen and more like this guilt I had in the back of my brain of like, if something goes wrong and it was because I was putting it off or being inactive or a little like blinkery, then I would feel so bad. Like even if we got away and we were okay, if it was my fault for not being proactive and like packing the bags. So I was like,
no, exactly.
Fine, I'll pack some bags. I'll get some non-perishables and stuff.
You'd feel like a lesser man of the household.
Because I'm kind of like a Jack John Wick style alpha right now. Kind of like if John Wick had Master Chief's powers and shit.
Exactly.
And also the Iron Man suit.
And also the Iron Man suit, but he was like a little bit taller. And a gun.
But yeah, and then that night I put in the address of one of our friends into one of the monitoring apps, and I woke up at like 6 that morning to an evacuation notice for that friend's address, thinking it was mine because I was just like loopy and had just woken up. So I just woke up in like complete alarm and almost like inaction where I was in panic, but I didn't know like what to do or where to go first. Then I checked the app again and realized it was that friend, and that friend had already left their place like the night before. So they were safe, but it's just like, it was so like, it is just luck. And everything was so close.
It is so fast too if you are in that spot. Like if you're in the spot where it was bad and like it really went down, like it was like you had to go within.
It's like if you were in the Palisades, then it was like the fire started at 10 that morning, and if you weren't out at 3 p.m., then you
for some people it was even quicker than that.
Yeah. Like the last, like I wouldn't even say safe time, but like we have I just heard about, the thing about living in LA is that like you hear about fires during the fire season. Obviously it's not fire season, but like I like remember reading that there was a fire, but it didn't register the seriousness of it. Like realizing that we are so small in comparison to like
I think that like
nature.
A fire kind of like contextualizes for people. Like even if like someone's rich and very fortunate, it's like it's literally like gone.
Yeah,
like it's like nothing.
You have no control. Like
yeah,
even
it's
less
like personal
than
things
else.
too. Like,
and
there's
just
no
sentimental
like
things.
get under the door frame if there's an earthquake, or avoid like shelving, and so it's like no, you have to leave and you lose. You know, it's just over.
Like,
yeah,
it's pretty easy to sympathize with.
It's like a pure law. Like in it, yeah. Again, it's just like it's also just your home and it's your safe space, and you know, for that person, it's like they had all these things from their childhood there, and it's very, very like it's just an insane realization of like how powerless we are in the face of things like this.
Did you were you on like a severe warning at any point, or you did leave?
I mean, I was on like the warning, like I think most people were.
Yeah.
You didn't head out at any point?
I didn't need to head out. No, there was like not to like give too much away, but there was like the like Hollywood one that broke out that like was pretty scary. And
well, funnily enough, we left and crashed with a friend briefly because there was like the zeitgeist was like, hey, you're next. And we're like, okay, well, let's just leave, get essential stuff, which is a weird experience of like assessing what you really do want to take with you.
Yeah.
And the cope came in again a little bit where I was like, I'm going to take, because I don't have a lot of photos of like my mom, and I was in the closet. I'm like, is it crazy to, fucking take him, like put him in the car and then we left.
Yeah.
But then, what was it called? It was the vegetation fire that developed into the
sunset? Or?
Sunset, yeah. Because we weren't like near there, but then we were just like, well, this is as bad as it was let's just go home. Like,
and that one grew so
fast,
right, but thankfully, like it was able to be contained earliest, like before it got, really out of hand.
And a lot of this is in like the complete incompetence of the LA municipality. Like it's not, there's no excuse for it.
But it's also like, don't pretend to be an expert on this, but from what I've heard from experts, it's also true that like this would be not saying that the LA government didn't make any missteps or anything like that, but it's also the case that like no water system in the world could have handled the demand like on.
It was enormous. Like it's
because they had
totally
water. It's just,
unprecedented that you have 100-mile-per-hour winds and like a place this dry.
And
with
then
shrubbery.
4 fires of like the size, like
in the winter.
Yeah.
Like if there's one time to maybe feel a little optimistic.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's a shitty situation in all directions, and it's something that we're still dealing with. So it's like I've been feeling in this like very what's the like, it's like I'm alert, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Where I'm like trying to stay abreast of like everything that's going on.
But we have as much power as we did.
We have as much power as we did
right?
before. We just like are a little bit more like, okay, I know what's in the go bag. I know what I'm grabbing.
I felt very conflicted about how like severe a tone I have to have when I talk about stuff like this, right? Same applied when the election results came in, where I'm just like, I shouldn't be joking, or I shouldn't be making light of something like this. And I still don't really know what my opinion is. Do you have a take on like, can you joke about this? When, if, how?
Yeah, I think that like we're kind of the same way, that like that's just how we like kind of cope with things. But it's also like we've turned that into our job too, that like, people kind of expect that from us.
Yeah, that's true.
To the point that like more so than a normal average person that works a normal day job, like when we have this tone, it's like more expected.
Right.
Whereas like if you were working at Starbucks and you were suddenly like joking about something, people would be like, oh my God, wow, that's vile.
Well, we put out that statement on the, I think we released on everything, but we, Peeps was kind enough to write us up a statement that we could post to just say like, hey, no episode this week. You get it. And it was weird because it had like it was the perfect statement. It was drafted just right. They did a great job. But I remember my first instinct being, wow, this is such like a formal thing for us to post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess we were posting it as like a unit, as Sad Boys team or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was almost like, oh, I'm like making a PR statement from my like podcast where I'm like, ADHD is crazy. What if Garfield had a gun? It's just like the hangout show or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess actually that's a line you kind of ride because you have like guests on Fortnite Friday that with severe bad ethical things they've done, but hanging out.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a weird line. It's comedy, I guess.
What's been the most like confrontationally like tense, I guess, like the most tense guest to have on the show?
For Fortnite Friday, I think that like Zachary Levi was the one that caught me off guard because he's the one that like turned it that direction. It's like he was like prepared to an extent.
Oh,
like he like when I invited him on, I think that like some people had like told him like, oh, he's gonna try to jump you.
All right.
And so he was like on edge to start. And so when he brought up stuff, I was like, oh, well, now my whole train of thought is like derailed.
Right.
Because now I'm like, I'm not going to like segue into this. Like,
It's so funny to fall down like an alt-right pipeline because Shazam 2 was mid.
Yeah. Dude, it's so crazy.
The Zachary Levi thing is crazy because I liked Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
he said he
right?
would have voted for Chuck, would have voted for Trump. Do you agree with that characterization of Chuck?
I don't think so.
I feel like Chuck. By the way,
that sentence has never
that
happened.
show went off air so long ago. I feel like Chuck would have been like he's like millennial lived up.
In the Chuck universe, Hillary won.
Right, in the Chuck universe, Hillary won, and it wasn't a question.
She was cool.
Yeah. And she was awesome.
And they hung out, and he saluted her.
Right.
And then his pants fell down or whatever.
Yeah.
I did watch this show.
Madam President, do you need help with your computer or whatever? What was Chuck about again? He was like a secret spy, but he worked at Best Buy.
He would be so lived up, though. You are. I mean, they would be like, Madam President, we're going to a Hamilton show.
I watched that show so religiously, and now I can't remember anything other than like having a crush on Yvonne Strahovski.
Whoa, pervert. Jesus.
I didn't watch the show. I don't know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't be a pervert. I would sit down and listen to her on the show.
I don't know the context, but I agree. I would listen.
I just respect the frigging hell out of women.
Jordan?
Yes.
When was the last time you needed to go to the doctor but made an excuse and pushed it off?
Almost every time. I've had to do it my whole life forever.
Oh, was he too busy?
Well, kind of.
Oh, is it just a cough?
Well, it was just that, but I really should have gone, and he did have slots, but I was it was unclear to me.
Booking a doctor's appointment can feel so daunting, but thanks to today's sponsor, ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay.
They make it so easy to book and find a doctor that's perfect for you and your needs.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click instantly to book one.
We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty.
From mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more, you can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, are a good fit for your medical needs, and are highly rated by verified patients.
Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to book instantly.
Appointments through ZocDoc happen quick. We're talking 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments.
Personally, I used ZocDoc when I first moved to the US, and every time I've moved back and forth across this great state ever since, and it made things a lot more convenient and easy to track. And if you're not that familiar with your insurance, or if you're new to using health insurance, it does all that for you. Pop it in, filters by it.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sadboys to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/sadboys, ZocDoc.com/sadboys.
Wait, real quick, before we move off of the fires, there was a talking about content and talking about kind of filtering yourself and stuff. We saw this thumbnail. And
it's a good thumbnail.
This is crazy to me. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's such a weird...
Is it supposed to be LA River?
This is from the royalty family. I think that's a pool.
The royalty family?
I think that's their name.
That
and
sounds
this video has like 8 million
they're just
views.
running out of
Like the
options.
queen.
And I don't actually know the content of the video. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, well, that can't be right. You can't do that. This is what's upsetting about this, right? It's like the same care and treatment applied to a terrifying night we'll ever forget with like, what's the movie? The Ring Girl is just like in the... Yeah, it's like exactly the same vibe of like our city is on fire, like talking about a tragedy. And of course, it gets more views.
So one of the strange things is that a lot of times it is these two in the thumbnail, and this is the mom and that's her son.
What?
I'm fairly certain.
Vibes off.
Okay.
Oh, I could have sworn they were brother sister. That was like my whole vibe.
Yeah, siblings or dating.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
That's the optimal route for like a YouTube family, is you don't know which ones are the sons, the father.
I actually want to watch the beginning of this video because I just want to understand the tone. What I'm hoping is it's not a "What's up, guys? Today we've got fires going on, so we're doing a real life escape
Give it like
challenge."
30 seconds, and I think it might get
Dubstep
there.
intro plugin. Royal family.
I think the fire's getting worse.
Wow, guys, this is even worse than last night.
The fire's spreading, huh?
This is sorry. Oh my god.
It's so devastating to see the fire from our home. This is spreading out so fast, and thousands of people are evacuating from their home.
I know, a lot of people are evacuating right now. We're just hoping that it doesn't spread too much this way, or else we're gonna have to evacuate as well.
No, don't say that, please.
You guys, this is so intense.
So, wait. So this is like, I genuinely, until this episode comes out, I don't think I'm really gonna confidently say whether or not I've talked about it with the sensitivity necessary or not, because this is like the vibes are off. But I don't know if I'm the same. I don't know that they haven't said anything.
Like, I mean, a fire could have just started right there and scared them.
Yeah.
But I don't think their tone even indicates that they would even care that much beyond the content they'd get out of it.
go with
I guess
different
I can't police how someone copes and grieves with like a situation like this, but it's
even this angle.
I have to say that it gives me the same like Dora the Explorer, like talking to children cadence with like, guys, this is crazy, guys.
What the heck?
It reminds me of J Station videos.
Reminds me of Jack Doherty.
Yeah, I avoid that guy.
That guy's got some streams, dude.
I don't want to judge too quickly.
Even the yellow subtitles, or maybe change it for this.
It's just
one,
like the Mr. Beast. Do the subtitles go the whole video?
Yeah.
Okay, that's better than them going the first 30 seconds, like a cynical Mr. Beast like video. Okay.
Is it just like, do you think part of it's just like, this is the language
It looks like
of
a movie, is what he said there.
This looks like movie.
Maybe I'm being I'm not being fair, but I think if you have the like time and safety to edit a video like this.
Yeah, it does feel weird, doesn't it?
It like I wasn't posting really on social media even because I was just like anxious and trying to focus on, you know, making sure everybody was safe.
Yeah, the immediate kind of social
Not that I'm like a saint
like,
of any kind, but it's just like strange to me.
Well, that feels like the normal thing to do. I would.
This at least, okay, can we at least look in the description and see that they're like donating to a cause?
No, I guess they are all right.
Okay, they
donate
do have
here.
a donate. Okay, that's good.
It's a kindful.
All right, I have to watch more though because this is very
That link
interesting to me.
I've heard it.
Even the mayor of Los Angeles has declared it a state of emergency, and that's because there's a lot of fires going on.
Even
and they're
the
not little
mayor
fires,
declared
they're
it.
big fires.
Like,
Pretty massive.
okay. So, this is again, I don't think I'm being fair. Maybe this is small, but if I'm editing a video about the fires, I'm saying, hey, maybe we don't have the like splash in effect on the pop in effect on the text.
Yeah,
It's like bouncing like I'm getting a Minecraft like tip on a YouTube short, you know?
There's a disconnect with like if you make content and like edit when like you see stuff like this that just makes the tone of it, I think, to us so much stranger. Because like this was even like the case with like, not to bring up like stuff nobody gives a shit about, but like the Dream like response to like Tommy in it even recently that like he did, where it's like edited and it's like there's music behind it.
I
It's,
haven't
like,
even watched
it's very
that
like
yet.
the tone is just like, as someone that edits and like, you know, that like if you recite something and then you type the subtitles for it, it's like you are actively thinking about these things.
You think about
It's
how,
like the
like,
apology
laborious.
videos where you're like crying, but like clearly trying to make sure that you look like sad.
Yeah, and then
properly
the way
sad
it's
on the
cut
video.
after you're crying, it's like you had to go back and analyze this and know how it'd be consumed as content.
There's the
Right.
first like half a second right before, before they even do the sigh and the start. It's just them like, it's almost like a dramatic preview, and it's like, I don't know if I can do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's too, and that's the sleight of hand, right? Is like, well, this is just how our content organically comes up. We feed the DVD into a machine and it comes out edited like this.
Yeah.
But then we look at this and we go like, wait, I think I recognize that color grade plugin.
Yeah.
That's like eerily. What the hell?
You know what's interesting is I feel like you could very cynically be like, guys, don't get on your high horse. Everyone grieves in different ways. Some people grieve by making a viral video.
Yep.
Some
But
people grieve with
I
revenue.
will say that, you know, credit where credit is due. I'm glad that they put a donation link in there. We're going to link to some causes you can donate to in the description of this episode as well. I do want to watch more though.
We talked about this with like Mr. Beast stuff here and there as well, where like when we criticize this stuff, I'm not really criticizing it from a position of, unless the video now, there's like some huge ethical issue. The vibes are just so profoundly off
Yeah.
that I'm like looking at it and trying to access that mindset. It's like any.
It's like I'm having a
unrelatable thing.
compatibility error with my empathy center.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
They're speaking the same language, but I don't understand.
All the animals that are trapped, we're praying for you guys. We have you guys in our hearts at this very moment.
This is a tragedy. We're gonna show you the fire from our backyard. It's pretty bad, pretty intense.
They remind me of a family at VidCon like 2 years ago when I was in a hotel. I walked to like the lobby that morning and there was this foreign family that was like filming their day. They were obviously a family vlog channel. I don't know how big they were, but like they kept on like re-recording the same bit of like telling their kids we're gonna meet Mr. Beast.
Oh,
They're like, are you gonna meet Mr. Beast today? They're like, we're gonna meet Mr. Beast. And one kid's like, can we go to like Disney? And they're like, oh, Mr. Beast. Like, you're gonna see Mr.
Yeah.
Beast. And I remember actually seeing Mr. Beast that day and like going and was like, did you meet with like a small like foreign family that was like really excited to see you? And he was like, I didn't meet anybody today.
Yeah.
He was like in the hotel all day. I was like, oh, so that family didn't even get to meet Mr. Beast.
The thing is like people can be like, because there's that clip of the Costco guys as well. AJ is like, nope, dude, that again.
Yeah.
You taste it first, boom.
Yep.
And like, again, as you know, people that know what the edit is like and trying to make things cohesive, it is silently work. It does. He was right to kind of correct it because it doesn't make any sense. Like, I was just like, I picked the chicken bake.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't fucking taste the thing, but this is where I'll have a tiny little bit of moral high horse. I think you can break a child's brain doing that.
No, 1,000%.
And the
I think that
authenticity
like,
of life just starts to
I
shut
don't.
down.
I'm like not convinced that there's an ethical way to family vlog.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that the way society and like culture is just like progress so fast that like to be charitable, it's like there is a disconnect between people that are even 15 years older than us that like don't understand the way social media and stuff can even impact a kid and like understand it. So like maybe that like charitably, it's like these people don't understand how bad this is.
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine that because the alternative is that they're like they like know it's evil.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I don't believe that. I think it's more just like there's a disconnect, like you said.
I think they're Kool-Aided. They're like full in. It's like those incredibly beige families that we've like seen occasionally on online where it's just like, hi, me and my white dress and my husband and his beige shirt.
Right, and you're what's making everything from scratch.
We're making our own toothpaste today.
Yeah.
We work at probably like an uncle's company. Or something.
Right. I'm the heir to a oil fortune.
My father, a steel magnate, is helping me out. So we built a PC.
Let's just watch some more.
Furniture, as you can see, it flew away. Look at the pool. The chairs fell in the pool.
They're so rich.
It's kind of funny. It's wild to just look at the pool. I hope this didn't happen to everyone's pool.
From here all the way to the very end.
And you know what? We can smell fire right now. And I know the ashes are going to start blowing away. But come.
This has the vibes of like calling Pennywise at 3 a.m.
You know that's what I said, dude. It's like a J Station video. Yeah. And it's like
I got kidnapped by Chuck E.
It's like,
Cheese.
look, I'm doing perfectly well. It's not like a wealth thing. It's more about the like connection to like how something is gonna appear. Like, oh my god, the chairs fell into the infinity pool.
Oh no! Wait, my 6 Bentleys have been blown into my helicopter landing strip.
my landing pad, it's dusty.
There's ash all over my jet.
That we made a mistake this morning on sending the kids to school. I called the school. They said that they're safe, that they're open, but right now I feel like the smell of fire is getting worse. The air quality is becoming really bad.
Sure.
And I think that we should go pick up the kids.
Okay, if we pick up the kids, we should all pack together in case we have to evacuate.
Oh my God.
It's just
Oh my goodness.
You know what I
here we
mean?
go
Like,
again, you guys.
it's weird. The urgency isn't like you can't. This is a real emergency situation.
Help your kid pack. Put the fucking
So
camera
put
down.
the camera down and pack and go pick up the kids. If it's that,
A camera on your 3-year-old child trying to pick up something heavy.
Even the way you said that was almost like, we need to go get the kids so then we can film them packing.
Yeah, we need to go do some
But like, even just
post-production.
go back 10 seconds. Like, listen to the way he says that. Like, it literally is just like.
And I think that we should go pick up the kids.
Okay, if we pick up the kids, we should all pack together in case we have to evacuate.
Like, immediately cuts the footage of the kids
them
packing.
packing.
Like, so like the way he said that was like foreshadowing that they're going to go get the kids so that they can film
and
them
I'm like, that
packing.
was like a small infant packing. I'm like,
Help.
if we're in an emergency, I'm not waiting for the infant.
the
to
infant doesn't know what
pack
they're
the
doing.
Go bag.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what the heaviest item is they can pick up.
Yeah.
Can you pick up your own coat?
How strong is my 4-year-old?
The kid's just crying.
Oh, do you know what this is reminding me of? And this is not the same severity. And I do want to. I do want to. I'm still trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because I've seen 1 minute and 53 seconds of this video, but it kind of from a priority standpoint, it reminds me of that. Like, didn't Jack Doherty crash his like sports car?
Yeah.
And
He
then
was
like
live streaming and
then tell his like cameraman to keep filming.
Oh, it's even, if you watch the whole thing, it's even crazier.
Is
where
it?
he like literally like he like gets in the car accident and like he's still live and like he's getting pulled out of the car and like as he's like about to get pulled out and the guy's like, the person who's saving him is like concerned, like, oh, you just got in an accident 80 miles per hour on the highway. Jack's like handing him the camera and is like, get the shot.
Dude,
like
it's
to the guy that's
Nightcrawler.
rescuing
It's literally
him.
just Nightcrawler.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's like, has content broken our brains this much?
I don't think our brains. I think
Maybe.
some people. I think
don't,
it
but
leads
it's like
to.
I don't want to
brains are
be.
big, probably.
It's like crazy because I don't even want to say that I'm like holier than thou or like infallible to the sort of warping nature of
It just should bother you.
content, but I'm bothered,
It
right?
should bother
Well, I
you.
think that like people. It's why people like you or me or anybody. Not to like toot our own horn, but like there is a level of authenticity that you can see in the content that like the awareness that we even have of this is like something that is appreciated.
I cannot look. I am genuinely mesmerized right now. We have other things we need to get to, but I do want to watch a little bit more. Picture this, Jordan.
Zero mind palace.
I love to consume. I love to watch media and things. And there's a different streaming service for every single thing I have to watch.
Every single one of them has a new name that I don't recognize, but I need to watch one episode of one thing I
And
like.
I signed up for Blvd Plus.
Yes.
And then months down the line, I completely forgot that I was paying for Bimbo and Zorkbork.
You signed up for Zorkbork, and it doesn't even have that series anymore. It used to go.
But what? Like, how is it possible? How could I possibly keep track of all of these services? Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, has a solution.
Rocket Money can help you keep on top of those sneaky little forgotten subscriptions and even help you cancel the ones you don't want anymore.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
You can easily create a personalized custom budget with custom categories. In my case, maybe something along the lines of collectible card spending or coffee spending, and then you go, oh my god, well, I'm spending a lot of money on these things. Thanks for helping me realize that, Rocket Money.
And their new goals feature helps you save money automatically so you don't even have to think about it, which can help you pay off credit card debt, make a large purchase, or just grow your savings.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved over $500 million in canceled subscriptions, which means you could save up to $740 a year by using all of their premium features.
Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/sadboys today.
That's rocketmoney.com/sadboys. That's us. rocketmoney.com/sadboys.
I do think you mentioned that. I do think some of the the dissonance I may be having in my brain of like, what do I say about them? Was I tactful about it? So and so is that I hate the idea of it looking like I'm trying to be more morally tactful or something, or like I'm using PR statements, or I'm just like, oh, Jacob, could I say that? Should we cut something there? Because it's like nothing in content can ever be fully authentic because you're probably projecting more. You're holding a fucking microphone.
Yeah.
But this is insane.
Yeah,
this is such a
wild.
strange way to
Imagine if I just sent you a clip just over text. I'm just like, dude, this is, I turn to
Yeah.
Katie and I'm just like, these fires are going wild.
Katie's freaking out, and you're just like, "Yo, Connor, look."
Wait, we need to get.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to
Wait,
cry.
wait, dump out the suitcase. We need to get clean B-roll.
me taking the harness off the dog so I can film her putting it on.
You guys, the reason the fire is spreading is because of the high winds. If there wasn't high winds, the fire wouldn't be
drone
spreading this
footage?
fast, and the fire department would be able to contain it.
Yo, this reminds me of something. There was a fire, like one of the, I don't remember the name for the fires that take the water and then
Super scooper.
the super scooper. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Okay.
Wow.
So the like super scooper,
This sounds fun.
a drone hit like one of those.
Really?
I
We
heard
were
about
talking
that.
about this, right?
Well, like it was in transit and the drone just filming or something?
Like a drone hit one of the stunning
Tom Hanks'
pictures show
mansion.
how close Tom Hanks' LA mansion came to being destroyed.
Oh, thank God.
God, that's
okay.
stunning.
Yeah, super scooper. But
It is the same kind of
Stunning.
demonic to write that article.
There's like a little bit of
Stunning.
smoke right there. It's not really that stunning.
Divine photography.
like LA County Fire Department posted super scooper grounded after drone strike.
That's
insane.
Which is like
that sounds crazy.
it sounds crazy. It's also like when a bird hits a plane. It's called
bird
a bird strike.
strike.
But this
Drone strike sounds like a different thing.
yeah, it is a different thing. Like a civilian drone was not assigned to the fire and just hits it. I worry that somebody was trying to get the shot.
Yes.
And it is impeding the fire department. Not what these people are doing. This is just like connected, reminded me that this happened.
It is just I don't know, maybe the 10 million view revenue is overtaking this thought process for them. But I feel like my self-consciousness, in the most cynical reason I would not make a video like that would be that I don't want to look callous. And I'm taking away like actual ethics or what I believe or what I would care about or how people would feel just because people would criticize me. There's no way I would make like us recording this right now. I would not heighten my did you see these fires?
what in the freaking hell was it?
It would be like if we
creepy.
recorded the day that we canceled so that we could make sure everybody was safe and able to evacuate.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Or if like I went, well, I mean, literally when we were leaving my place just temporarily, if I was just like, fellas, it's pretty crazy. I was Instagram live to show
It's so
everyone.
weird because like
Right.
all of that time I was like checking in. I hate that it makes it sound like I'm trying to like be like holier
we
than
were just
thou.
being normal.
But it was like I was like texting friends and making sure that people were okay.
You were asking me how where fires come from.
Yeah.
It's so
That's how I
bizarre.
show I love you.
Interesting. Okay.
That was a moment of levity. I was just in the car and I just sent you that text.
So what
It's like,
happens? Also, from a video standpoint, a little fluff, right? Like, hey, this was rattling. Here's some B-roll of this rattling.
get your kids.
Go get the kids.
Get your children.
For now, let's watch the news and see where the fire's heading, yeah?
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, what about the children?
Let's
Go
watch
tell the
the
news
phone in
so we
the
can see
car.
what's going on.
Also,
I
take
just
your
wanna say
Christmas
something real quick.
decorations
I don't
down.
know
That's
what's
the
gonna
worst part of
happen, But I do know that we're going to be donating money to an emergency relief center.
Let's go.
I'm going to put the link down below. If you guys are able to help, that'd be amazing. Whatever we can do together to help out the people.
The music. Again, it's like, it's fine. It's the language of it. I get it. But the piano music coming in the moment they're talking about something that is like virtuous, but it's fine.
I think it's
not
wrong
unethical.
that you're hating on the language of filmmaking.
Yeah, I
True.
think-
Let's watch them watch the news.
that are in need is very critical at this moment.
And this
Love
is
you
a good
guys.
thing.
You
I'm glad
guys,
they did
4
this.
wildfires are burning in Southern California right now. As you guys can see, it's right next to Malibu, Los Angeles, Pacific Palisades. As you
Whoa.
guys can see right here, Governor Newsom declares state of emergency.
What are we gonna do?
Let's get the kids from school and let's start packing. And if we have to evacuate, we'll have a
The
hotel
black
ready.
and white cut
It's-
forward to
it's
B-roll.
cut like a reality TV show.
I'm like
Their lives are a
beside
reality TV
myself,
show.
dude.
It's just if you, I don't know. It almost
Here
like,
it says Palisades fire grows to 14,000 acres.
okay.
Governor Newsom declares state of emergency. Go get the kids.
the fucking children.
Oh my god.
That is, I mean, I don't know what the circumstances are around the kid. What could possibly be going on that they shouldn't just go and get the kids right now?
Or if not, then like,
Is someone bringing them there?
well, it's funny that they can't even. The news is doing the news is doing what they're doing, but then the news is playing and they're just like repeating what the news is saying.
Look,
Governor Newsom declares state of emergency.
even the mayor.
Even the mayor declared it.
There are people that we know, aren't close to, but know that definitely have that like I am what I post mentality, where the way you act, like personally, your life offline, it does not represent who you are to yourself. Something only happens if you post it.
Yeah.
If you release the material of something, then that's who you are. Like, it doesn't matter what your voice is like, what you act like, who you actually spend time with.
Yeah, I
the
think
thing you put
I
out.
think there is almost an ounce of validity even to that like mindset, solely because like I've kind of learned that like my job isn't like streamer or like YouTuber. Like my job is Connor Eats Pants.
Yeah.
And Connor Eats Pants is me. And so it's like the content that I put out is like
Yeah.
representative of like what I want to do creatively and like sort of who I am.
Yeah.
So like that's I think why it's easy for us to be so like critical of this is because like
This
in
is
a
who you're
way their
representing
job
yourself?
is the same.
But also like I think that we all like if you're doing something cool or something that you want to share, it's okay. It's not like your brain is broken to be like, oh, let me take a photo of this and post it on social media. I think there's just like a time and a place. And it's kind of like a not right now moment is kind of how I feel. Like this is like okay, let's set aside
Yes.
the persona thing because there's a more important the priorities
I feel
are
like
not
it's so
aligned.
easy to like if I'm a vlog channel and like I live in LA, people expect me to make a vlog about the LA. Sure,
Mhm.
I would post a video probably after like around now when like stuff's a little bit better and this environment's a little bit like things are dying
Yeah.
down. And I would open the video with like some sort of like disclaimer of like, hey, this is what went down. Donate below, and then. If I'm going to even keep the same tone of normal vlog, have that be very well separated after an
it.
intro. Yeah. Like it's,
I do what how much of it is like, look, if you do this for a living and you're in this circumstance and you really are committed to what you're doing, you would probably go insane not making a video. Like every moment you would just be thinking about it. If you're this, you know,
There is the
style
feeling
to do
of
it.
like, I've had this would make such a good video.
And then you kind of have to go like, okay, but
For who and for why?
in our case, we are just like full name. All of our content is typically us just on camera, hanging out. And then in the case of the individual channels, it's a little bit more performative, but it is still like presenting that version. Is there like, do you ever feel conflicted about how authentic you do or don't want to be? Or how much personal information is like?
Yeah, I think that like I used to like be really mindful of like personal information and stuff. Not that like I'm not now, but like now that like I've lived and like and been in the space for a minute and like adjust, like seen so much happen to like friends and such. Like, I mean, I became like somewhat successful when I was like 19, but that was only after doing content. You could say since I was like 7, like when YouTube came out, I was doing like stupid little Pokemon videos.
Yeah.
But once it became like a job and like it was making money and it was my life, then like I think that's when I started to learn things about like how I want to be perceived and how friends are perceived and relationships I make and carry online. I mean, my like college experience was like moving to Austin, Texas, and like being around streamers. And so I think that like what I learned is that the only way that I can make this my life and my job going forward is if I'm authentic and like and honest with myself as much as I can be.
Or it's fatiguing. Like, being on.
Because I couldn't imagine like the feeling of like needing to be on and off and things like that. And so a lot of times it's like what you see is what you get, but also a lot of that is streaming too. Like you guys don't do as much streaming, but like when you
we're like cool, we're jokes.
I get exhausted streaming because even the amount that I feel like I need to perform in a stream wears me out after a few hours.
I'm too anxious about that. Which then I watch somebody else's stream and I'm like, oh, you can just be like a person.
Right. Every time I see Hassan like eating on stream, it like adds more points to the like, okay, you're like allowed to not like every moment of every thing doesn't need to be a
so I mean
I'm
in the chat saying yummy,
even
yummy,
like that
tummy.
disconnect is part of why like I don't usually use like face cam very much and like why like my streams are shorter than some other people. Like, you know, there's a space there that I personally need. Other people I know maybe don't, but
that's smart though to like recognize, because I think one thing we've often talked about is like we kind of had like more corporate lives before like pivoting into content, and obviously we were working at Patreon, so we were like kind of like looking through the window at it.
We're very much consumers of it, you know?
But there's a lot that I can like I can't imagine having to like go from like I always say like mom's basement to like just being a streamer. And someone like you, Connor, I really respect, because it seems like you found a way to like keep a good head about yourself. And
you would be a prime candidate for being one of those. I am what I post.
Oh my God, dude.
You know?
Yeah. Like, or a dude who could never turn it off. Like if you were somebody who like, when the cameras are off, you were like,
the exact same.
Felt like an on-camera personality. It would be
I
like,
know people like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, and those aren't bad people, but it's like sometimes exhausting to be around.
Yeah, it's just how they are a lot of the time.
Jordan, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Did you know that right here, right now, you can watch us in video or audio on Spotify?
I can switch back and forth seamlessly?
You can back and forth seamlessly thanks to Spotify for Creators, a free podcast hosting platform by Spotify. Sometimes you're working out. Sometimes you're walking about. Boom, audio version. Oh, but then sometimes you're focusing. You're locked in. You want to see what's going on the screen. Boom, video. For a convenience for our listeners and viewers, that is a consumption option that they have. But for creators on Spotify, Spotify also has a partner program where podcasters can make a little Skrilla, can make a little cash money.
Make a little cash in a variety of ways. Is that so bad? Look me up.
Huh?
Look me up.
As creators, Spotify also offers a lot of analytics, so you can see, analyze the data from your audience and learn how to make the show better, see what people are connecting with and such. And that is something that we truly did not have when we were starting the show, and has been a huge benefit to our productivity.
Let's just say we're very thankful to be free of certain platforms that make things weirdly obscure for no reason.
But one really cool thing about this is that when we started the show, it was audio only. And not only are those episodes on Spotify, but you can see our beautiful transition to Technicolor.
And you can also listen through the entire back catalog, be nice if you do, and you can hear the specific moment we stop shaking anytime we're on microphone.
And you can also leave a comment on any of those old things, and we may read them.
If
Be
they're
nice.
really nice.
So head on over to Spotify.com. Yeah, just Spotify. Or maybe you've got the app.
The thing everyone in the world has.
And check us out on video.
If you get a lot of fulfillment out of like I publish this thing, so this is what people think I am, and I like that. You're also, the people I know who have struggled with that and are semi-self-aware about it also struggle with I published this and it misrepresents me. And I'm like burdened by that misrepresentation.
Yeah.
If I put out like a video and I'm like kind of in a character that I wasn't satisfied with, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
That one's, somebody will see it. Either they'll never see anything else I made and they'll think that's me and it's okay because they're not looking at any more stuff, or they watch other stuff and
It's
then maybe
the
I
sum
read
of
like a
your
person.
parts. Yeah.
And I don't know, I was just like off that
What
day
do
or
you
something.
attribute, like, I do think it requires like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because there's countless stories of people who like go too hard and fast and that it just like burns up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like not lose sight of yourself, especially like coming into content world like so young?
I mean, I think a lot of it was like dealing with a lot of like mental health stuff, even growing up. Like when I was I missed so much high school, like just from like anxiety and stuff, and had to like kind of go to therapy and like mature in a lot of that early on.
Were you getting like official guidance and diagnoses, or was it just kind of like
yeah, so there was stuff like that, like being diagnosed like on the spectrum, like in high school was like kind of for like 2 weeks I thought it was like the way I perceived it was like, oh, everybody else was like lying to me my whole life, like pretending to be my friend. And like I pictured like you're a kid's example of like a kid that when you think of like autism, like I was like, oh my gosh, like everybody's like playing along with me or something.
Right.
everybody could tell.
Yeah,
this
everybody
whole
could tell.
time.
So there was a lot of that I dealt with in high school, and
Which
like,
is wild because people aren't that nice.
right, exactly,
Or smart.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I in some ways I realized I'm actually a lot more socially conscious than most people in some instances. So it was a lot of learning about that. I think helped when coming into this space. It was also something I always knew I wanted to do. So like I had like somewhat knowledge of it because it's just what I like doing. I like making people laugh, and I liked video games. I liked editing. I liked doing all that.
It's an interesting thing because like there's different schools of thought, but I think you approach something differently if you're like, I want to blow up and like make the bag versus I want to try to find a way to do this sustainably for a long time.
Oh yeah, I think that a lot of people, like my viewers, joke about that with me a lot. That like I kind of like nerf myself. But like I almost like don't take certain opportunities and stuff solely because like, not solely because it would make me too successful, but it's just like it's not me.
No, but I get that.
Yeah.
I there's certain there's lots of things that we've turned down that just felt inauthentic to us because it's like the thing about me is I need to be able to live with myself, and that's like I already have enough problems with anxiety, depression, and stuff that I don't need any other external like if I were to take a gambling sponsorship, it would like it would fuck me up at night.
It would be a tangible thing to attach my anxiety to. If I'm having like kind of a dread-filled night, I'm half awake and coming out and I'm just like, why did I fucking say that? What was I doing then? And then like maybe the next day I can rationalize that as well. Hey man, don't like
I think
that person doesn't remember.
I think that like that does keep us grounded and keeps us more conscious of things than maybe other people. So like it's it's not great that we deal with that, but I also think it humanizes and keeps us more on normal.
I mean, there is a certain amount of introspection, I guess, required and understanding yourself and thinking of just not being on autopilot.
As nice as that occasionally, which I think is probably like where the vices kind of stuff comes in. I feel like me replaying a game I have played so many times before, or me rewatching a movie or a series that I've watched before is my like the kind of stimulus that technically is just kind of shutting me down.
Yeah.
That's like the get rid of the internal monologue if I can. It's not really the like fulfilling, I'm getting something. Do you guys have that sensation sometimes where it's like actively frustrating to, or like, yeah, it's actively frustrating to have an idea or because you can't act on it? Like if I'm just in a really low, like totally low vibe, I just can barely move kind of space. And then I think of something I know I would enjoy. But the space between that and me doing it is just, I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck,
Yeah.
why don't-
I struggle to get like anything started.
Yeah, that's still tough for me. There's a lot of ideas that I've been excited about, but then time passes of inaction from me due to one reason or another. And then I can no longer like get excited enough about that idea. But I know if I struck like right when that excitement started, I could have like made something out of it. Like
Tesla.
it's almost like a carnival's come to town and I need to like
You could have been
capitalize-
great at rodeo.
Right. And then
oh,
it's like, oh no, it's gone now. I can't.
That's
I can't
me
just do
even with like
rodeo alone.
Fortnite Friday. Like I have like a main channel I haven't uploaded to in like years, and it's like my plan was like, okay, well now that I'm doing this like content piece I'm pretty proud of that I can like package, I was like, I'm gonna edit these and upload these to like this channel again. And I still haven't done it, but like
Right.
I've gotten the work started on a couple of them. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
because
well,
it's bad.
yeah, it's because it's bad.
Because it's shitty and
it
bad.
sucks
and you
and
suck.
I hate it.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
That's probably why.
fuck you,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Well, there's like I keep on like thinking of like, okay, if I want to do more with this than just make a stream highlight, like what am I gonna do?
Right.
And it's like then I do just a lot of overthinking on the
Yeah, I
packaging
mean,
of things.
hey,
But once you do it, it's
welcome to the team.
It is. I do think the psychology that we all hold on to around like, well, what do I post on what channel is, it's one of those like letting perfection be the enemy of the good, blah 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 blah. But it does kind of stay with you. If you're dissatisfied with it, it can really demotivate you from ever doing it again because you're like, look, I tarnished my thing.
At the same time, though,
My baby's ugly.
If I never made the extra channels, I wouldn't post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like it's actually like a mental trick to like get myself to like actually publish.
Yeah.
You think you'll get sued for having a chow as your logo?
No, they're chill. Sega's super
You've
chill.
got like a
about it.
Sonic chain.
Yeah, they like me.
You have a sonitude chain?
Oh,
Dude, it
really?
looks like one of them looks like it. Like, yeah. I have like it's like super Sonic, and I almost wore it to the Stream Awards this year, and I was like, this just looks like Sonichu.
Yeah, you don't want to co-sign
Yeah.
that right now.
Dude, Sonic was my first video game. Sonic 2 on the Genesis. I'm not that old, but it just so happened that my aunt was
Sonic 2 on the Genesis.
Yeah, my aunt had a Sega Genesis in the closet.
My first game was Dark Souls 3 because I'm young.
Right. And that was
Hell.
what you
It
played.
was the Elden Ring DLC.
right. You were just born.
I played it when I was a year old.
a year old.
I
Right?
look like
And look
shit.
at you
I'm
now,
1 year
dude.
old, but I'm
Oh
looking
my
rough.
god, dude.
I'm a long baby.
Okay, I want to see how that video ends, and then we can.
I can't believe you still want to watch this.
I can't, dude. I have to know.
There is something about it. It is like watching it's like watching a car crash.
How does
Yeah.
it end?
I got a video for you from Jack.
So they go pick up their kids from school.
Thank God.
Dad, there's smoke outside.
Yeah, there's smoke outside. We're gonna be.
Oh my God. Them in the car just like.
Okay.
Should have one luggage.
No, let's just share. You and I. All we need is one together.
Okay, let's do that.
For run. You get your own?
Okay, deal.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, me and Gucci get our own.
No way the dog's name is
That's
Gucci.
just no time to unpack that.
Yeah.
Damn.
When you guys were packing, how did you decide what color suitcase to use?
Oh, well, my Balenciaga was at the dry cleaners.
Oh, that makes sense.
The suitcase because
Yeah, because it's all
somebody
fabric.
that makes less than 5 million a year touched it, and that bothered me.
that garage is full of like bikes and ATVs and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how to ride them. I don't have a license, and I've
This
got
is
my.
cool. I mean, it's
18-wheeler.
awesome that they're so successful. Congrats.
It would
Shout out
literally.
to the royal family.
I mean, they kind of live up to the name. You can't live in squalor if you're the royalty. family.
I mean, I'm more on board with these than the royal family.
Yeah,
I think these guys
that's
are
true. This is my royal
more
family.
aligned. There's no incest. That's good.
Okay, so then do they end up evacuating?
Check this out, you guys. The fire's literally right there. This is a new one. And it looks like it's expanding a little bit. So we're worried about that one right there.
We gotta go.
All right.
We gotta go.
It might be
now.
that time.
Oh, Amber Alert, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's
Wait, is that the one?
We should mute that so that someone doesn't get alarmed in the actual podcast.
Yeah.
So this is something that happened where everyone in Los Angeles got an alert.
Everyone.
Like everyone, and it was a mistake. And so I was texting with you and Katie, and I was like, I think
it must be
I think this is a
right?
mistake. And then we got a another alert that was like,
Might be.
it was a mistake.
Shit, I'm just playing.
Our bad.
Sorry, player. Oh my god, you believed me? You guys are so stupid.
Embarrassing.
I remember.
So
Katie
it's 5
actually-
minutes of them going, I think we should go now.
I can smell the smoke also.
All right, it says there's a fast-moving brush towards our area.
Every
So I think
time
we
they
gotta
say
go,
they
you
should
guys.
go, I
Oh,
see
you
them
guys, the
walking
whole family's in the car.
into the backyard again.
Going back to the pool.
Until
Where's
they
the
tell us that
Blvd?
it's safe to come back.
she in the
Reminder,
car?
we're gonna put a link below.
That's fine. That wasn't rude.
It's in one of the suitcases.
Again, this is good. I'm glad they're
Someone
doing
down the
this.
house.
Goes out to all the people that are in need right now, that are suffering.
I'm glad they're doing this part.
Please try to stay safe.
We love you guys. Stay royalty. We out. Peace.
Stay
Stay
royalty.
royalty.
I mean, that's
I
not
will.
up to me. I feel like,
All right, well, that was something.
dude, the king should say that. He should be like, "Yo, stay royalty,
Stay
guys."
royalty, guys.
All right. I couldn't let go of that video, and I apologize to you both. But now I want to get to like the important stuff, which is Elon is causing trouble. He's made a boo-boo in front of gamers everywhere.
But he kind of embarrassed himself again.
Well, so what do we know about Elon? So he loves to tweet, or X or whatever
That's
that.
all he does.
He loves to jump, make a funny shape.
He loves to jump and make funny shapes.
Loves to
And then
chant
he
the wrong way.
Does not shut up about how he's top ranked in Diablo.
Yep.
And he even talks about it on Joe Rogan.
So
It's so embarrassing.
And then also that he's so good at Path of Exile to the point where he's streaming it. Now, my recent hyper focus has been that this creator Quinn and also Kriparian, who I know from the Hearthstone days, like amongst the entire Path of Exile community, high level community, has been watching the Elon footage of him playing the game and is ripping him apart because he for sure just bought someone to play on his account or just bought an account straight
it's
up.
awesome.
there's so
It is-
many obvious signs.
It's so awesome.
Not least of which is that when in map select, one of the options is Elon's map.
yeah.
Oh, and then also
Elon's maps.
Elon's
so
maps, and then
get them for-
like so. I'm not a POE guy, but I've been told that maps is not even the term in
it's the
in the game,
POE
yeah.
one
in
term.
it's POE
Yeah.
one term, and so now they're called like waypoints or something, right?
Yeah.
Like and so it's clearly somebody who's like like a hardcore player.
Deep in it.
I think what's awesome is like how obvious it is that he really wants to like be perceived as like a good gamer. But like I think this also like retroactively makes his him/Adrian's appearance on Fortnite Friday more likely him, because it's like he was so conscious of like how good he would be at the game and like perceived, and he sucked at it.
he took
Yeah.
the wrong lesson from his god awful Elden Ring build.
Fucking dust. Don't even.
Like, do you remember that?
yeah, where he
Yeah.
like he wore every piece of armor in the game.
He was
Yeah.
basically doing
Quad had shields.
he was
So-
doing a build that looked like a Iron Pineapple challenge mode run of like, oh, I only did slow rolling. Yeah.
I wanted
Has
to
someone
do
done
a
the
Fashion
Elon Musk
Souls.
challenge in Elden Ring yet, where you try
Oh,
to
that's
beat
such
it?
a
as
dude. I
the
feel like that
Elon
window
build?
is probably passed, but that's such a freaking good
That's
idea.
more. It would be more impressive than that chick that uses her neural pathways.
Yeah.
to-
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, get one of those guys that plays on the Rock Band drums to do an Elon run.
I can't do it. This is
So,
impossible.
I want to try to find the clips of Elon without commentary because it's so funny. Like, there's things that I don't even know anything about the game, but you could just tell he doesn't know what he's doing.
There's one part particularly where he's like scrolling through his items and he's like, oh, level 62,
Yes.
level 50.
And they are
but like
optimal.
it's irrelevant, the level of the gear. If you play the game, you know the level is irrelevant.
Right, because there's
it's
all these like I can't remember what they're
Yeah.
called, but like all of these like extra
All the modifiers, magic
modifiers.
effects.
Yeah.
I have 20 hours in Path of Exile 2 because Craig made me feel bad for not having it. So I downloaded it. I dabbled a little bit. It's the kind of game where like I was 10 hours in and I'm like, I want to see what the late game is like. Like I just want to see it. I'm never gonna be operating at a higher level because I'm not gonna pay anyone to play it for me, theoretically. But there is just some curiosity, right? Like how much does this scale up? And the number of like tiny little cheats, little features, not least of which is having an item filter active because
Yes.
your
Yeah.
loot inventory in this game is incredibly small. And so if you're playing at a high level, you need to be and there's like a
And also
syntax
like
you
when
can put
you're
in.
like when you're doing like when you're farming there's just tons of loot on the ground.
So
and it's
Yeah.
like I can connect this to like RuneScape. It's like you have item filters for the ground items in RuneScape. And so the concept of like
Because it's a loot gathering experience.
yeah. And so him and then like him. Okay, we can just find the like, can we just go to YouTube and type in like Elon being bad at Path of Exile?
It's just like such a miscalculation that I think can only come from being too insular. You have to be too much. You have to be too Gamergate pilled to think people would care about this.
What's awesome is he's Gamergate pilled like 8 years after the fact. Like
complaining about
everything
Zoe
about him
Quinn.
is so behind. Like the way he talks about memes, the way he does like he changed his name to like Keck Maximus.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's
it's
like dude,
so
what is this,
dated.
like 2011 4chan.
Your
like,
biggest fans were born after this. Dude. They don't know
literally,
what that
yeah.
means.
It's like I don't.
They
It's
think
like he's trying
Pepe
to
is
appeal to
a
like.
Pixar character.
At least a level 75 jacket.
He's looking at the levels of the gear.
Jacket.
Yeah, tell us how
That's my
bad
level 35
the
jacket.
item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's
He like
impressive.
calls it. I think he calls it.
Level 52 here.
It's like I don't understand why he thinks he needs
Elon
to
Musk
like
is a fucking fraud, bro. He's a fucking fraud.
why he needs to be knowledgeable about it.
Or at least like just watch, I don't know, 40 minutes of a video breaking down the late game so that you don't do things like click in the wrong location, not put on item filters, accidentally.
He like drags something into his inventory.
It's like, just if you're going to spend all this money, it's just, it is the least effort things he can do ever, and that's spend cash. It's like those like rich kids that want to become rappers, so they pay Yachty like $2 million for 16 bars.
And he's
they're
like, yeah, I'll take it.
I'm famous now. This
Yeah.
rocks.
People were saying this, and I think it's true. It's like if he had just played the game regular, people would be like, "Oh yeah, cool, he's one of us."
Yeah,
like just play the campaign. Like
Yeah,
you would
like,
get a
it'd be
much better
cool.
reaction
It'd be
than
cool
whatever this is.
from people that like him's perspective, be like, oh, here's Elon playing.
He's a gamer like us.
He's so busy all the time, and he's taking time to game and like
Yeah.
Just
stream
the
it for us.
kindness.
Yeah,
He's willing to. Wow, he really did pay $30 to get early access. That's so brave.
Oh, there's another thing with the stream where he goes, we've got 1 million concurrent viewers. Looks like the system's able to handle it well. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 1 million viewers. The video itself has 1 million views, and we already know X views are like worthless.
he doesn't even understand. So even when when I did the Adrian Dittman stream, like when I talked to Adrian the night before, and he was like trying to like. He went on this whole tangent talking about like X and the numbers and everything, and was like, I think part of the reason he wanted to do the show with me was because he was amazed that like that I would ratio him every time, and he could not comprehend like how someone was doing that and what that meant, and was like, oh, like you must be making like, he's like, how much money are you making on X every month? And I was like, $20, and he just got off the tangent about how high my engagement is. I go $20, and he goes, "Oh yeah, well that's because your engagement must be low." I was like, "You just talked about how high my engagement is. It doesn't make any sense."
It's because he thinks it's merit based somehow.
My theory is that part of the reason he's been so chronically online lately is because he is trying to turn X into a content creator platform, and in his mind, his best way to do that is to do it himself and to figure out what that looks like.
So who do people respect the most?
Yeah.
So
me
are
and my
you-
strange body.
Yeah.
Do you still believe Adrian Dittman is Elon?
I lean more towards that it is, or that at least I'm 100% sure that he is at very least like involved in something with them.
Yeah.
Whether,
Percentage score likelihood that it's Elon.
yeah, I think it's more likely than not that it is him for a variety of reasons.
So what about this like guy in Fiji that's named Adrian Dittman?
So there's a guy in Fiji named Adrian Dittman that is connected to Elon already. Like
Right.
he's like a Tesla investor in like his Tesla investor like Twitter community or whatever. And so my theory is that there is a guy named Adrian Dittman that sounds loosely like Elon.
Yeah.
That Elon then ran his page to like be a creator. And like everybody that's like a Elon worshiper is like in on it and like already watches Adrian because they think it's Elon.
Right.
And so maybe they go back and forth on who it is sometimes.
Okay, that kind of fits with the one theory I had when I watched there's a few times where it seems like the voice changes.
Yeah.
Where it's like seems like a completely different guy.
He's so in their first conversation, the thing that just rocked me and made me such a cynic about it is like
Adrian is specifically doing the kind of fanboy nervous laugh that I don't think Elon has the performance chops to do. But then everything aside from that one call, it just seems like Elon again.
Yeah.
There's that one call
There's just
where it's
so
like,
much
is this
that
a guy
it's
from
like-
Fiverr or something?
Yeah, it's just so much that it gets to a point where it's like, I think I said this on my stream, like, it has to be. It's like,
weird
it's-
because watching the stream though, he like felt so much quicker on his feet than Elon ever is.
Yeah.
In terms of even the speed that he was talking. So then I just didn't know what to think. But also I get really bad secondhand embarrassment. So I couldn't watch the stream for long periods of time. I kept being like, oh my God, this is
part
so
of him
cringe.
has this feeling of like, in my mind, that he has like a layer of safety behind the Ditman name that like makes him more comfortable, but also that like he thinks he's doing some avant-garde like artistry by doing this. Because even when I talked to him the night before, he was like, are we going to talk like politics or something? And I was like, maybe. Like, it's like, I can't talk about whatever on the show.
Yeah.
And I literally was joking to myself on the call where I'm like, it's like abstract avant-garde. And he's like, yeah, that's like what I do. That's like what I do.
Masterful gambit, sir.
Yeah, I was like, okay, interesting that he thinks that what he does is like in any way artistry.
Do you think he felt that way when he was cosplaying as his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so
Well,
strange.
That shit
like
was
that too. The
fucking
fact that
That's
is proven,
fucking
it's
strange.
like,
Yeah.
of course, this
And
is
he
an
admitted
exact kind
to
of
it.
guy.
He admitted to it
and
in
he doesn't. Well, I think maybe that really fucked with me. I cannot stop thinking about that because there's just something deeply sinister about it that I won't like armchair diagnose, but it's creepy. There's the fact that he did not out himself initially, and he seemed content to just pretend to be his son forever.
Yeah.
That to me is like, it's oddly egoless for him, actually. It's weirdly like, it'd be like if he did this whole Diablo or Path of Exile thing, but never said it was him. He like was a different guy. But I'm like, he's too ego driven to not usually be like, it was me, I was Adrian.
Yeah.
Is there like, I don't know if there's any like timeline conflicts, but it does seem like it was more transparent that Elon wasn't playing on his own Path of Exile account than the Adrian Ditman stuff, because Elon would be doing something at the same time that his character was online grinding. Even when he died, he was like talking to like the German government or something.
It's great because he's just like, he's beautifully incompetent. Like he can't even get this line.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also a hardcore account where it's like if you die, the character's over. And that mode exists in a lot of games, RuneScape. That's usually my point of reference. But it's so funny that he like barely knows what he's doing and he keeps bragging about how it's hardcore. And so I'm surprised. I don't think he died himself. I think it was the person who was playing on his account died. Because he was doing
it was
something.
like wrong hours, yeah. Right.
Yeah, he was doing something at the time. And so
Pretty funny.
Yeah,
pretty funny to just.
I'd prefer it that way because otherwise, yeah, I wonder. But,
I think he just like, he seeks the validation anywhere and he's not getting it in real life at all. Like at this point,
dude, when you're the richest man in the world, it's crazy to need the validation that bad.
that's what's so interesting about
He
it.
underestimates mystique.
Yeah.
I think you get away with a lot when you like very deliberately put up like an
He didn't know
artifice.
what he had.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think he doesn't understand that, like, just being the richest guy in the world, he already had this, like, for lack of a better word, aura that was like, you
People
don't
thought you were
need,
Iron Man because you didn't say it.
When
don't
I
need
was
to
in
see you all the time.
college, he was like, people would talk about him with such, what's the word that's revere, but
reverence?
Reverence, there we go. People talk about him with such reverence to the point where I've talked about this a number of times, but like back in like 2017, I wanted to make a video about him, but I was afraid because of how much, because my audience was very tech at the time. And I knew that I would just get a ton of like pushback on it. And so I think
because it would be critical video in some ways, or
because I would be making fun of him, and I was like afraid to make fun of him because
leave him alone.
Because of how animated people get. I lightly criticized him a few different times before that, and it would be the type of thing that all the comments in the comment section would come about, and it was like that kind of stuff was like I need to get out of the tech YouTube bubble because these aren't my people.
To seek the approval of how do I say this? The worst people in the world is such a weird mission to take too, because to serve that audience, to serve his blue check homies, he's gonna have to constantly up the ante and pivot to what they like right now. And usually what they like is stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not like fun to get involved in Gamergate hobbies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the video of like Luka Doncic, who's like one of the best players in the NBA, plays for the Dallas Mavericks, also plays Overwatch.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And he's like in like one of the top like 500 ranks for like his role, right? In
I think
Overwatch.
he's a tank player.
Or like LeBron is one of the top players in Madden randomly. But
So weird,
but
dude.
I watched the starting 5 doc. Oh, I saw. Okay, there's these interviews. I think with maybe Austin Reeves or somebody else on the Lakers. Where they're like, what's something about? Oh no, it was with the rookie Dalton Connect. They were like, what's something about LeBron working with LeBron that people wouldn't know? And it's like how much he plays Madden. Like he's always talking about football. And then I watched the starting 5 documentary on Netflix, and most of the time that he's like relaxing, people are around him at the house having a good time. He's like locked in on a game. And then he'll be like, had a good conversation with this guy, like played him on the Madden. And then you find out that he's like one of the top like couple hundred people in the Madden servers. And it makes sense because it's like all he does at this time that's not basketball.
He is like a mastery guy. Like if
And
his
he
mindset.
loves football. He was like, could have gone with either sport, but it was like go straight into the league or like
Maybe he
go to
mixed them
college
up.
and play football.
I
Maybe
think
it was like, which
the
one's
connective tissue between that LeBron and Elon there is that like I think gaming is such an escapism for your brain when like there's so much input in other areas. Like not to like oversell how hard Elon's life is, but like certainly there's a lot of input, and LeBron has like a lot going on around him.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing a game, like it separates your mental.
You can
from
focus.
some things.
I learned in the starting 5 documentary. I learned Anthony Edwards plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's a star player, very good. He plays a lot of Fortnite. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
but not on Friday.
Yeah, I almost like I prefer people that don't play a lot of Fortnite because then they get a
'cause
new
then
account and then I get like bots to play against and it makes the games better.
Yeah,
You
that's
should have me
funny.
on Fortnite Friday, and I'm just like in a really bad mood.
It's just really awkward the whole
I'm
time.
just like you make a joke and
Yeah.
okay.
I wanted to do this. This isn't really related to that, but I wanted to do one before the election where like I got like 3 like Gen Z political influencers. So like a Dean Withers, like
yeah.
a Bo Loudon, who's like who's like friends with like Barron Trump, that was like a right wing
I don't
influencer.
know that kid.
And then the idea was like an RFK
Speaking
guy
of the
as
NBA,
well.
get Barron Trump in there. He's like
Yeah.
6'10".
Yeah, the idea was like
aside, father.
I get a full squad of like political Gen Z influencers, and like they're all debating, and I'm like, guys, like there's a squad.
It's it's a Jubilee video, but inside of Fortnite.
Exactly.
The
That
Storm
was the
George.
idea. Yeah, maybe in 4 years.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Dude, we can get hopefully Biden runs again.
yeah, right.
His bones.
I'd vote for Hunter. I want Hunter on Fortnite Friday.
Dude, I think we can get him in.
I think, okay, so we're going to wrap up here and head on over to our Patreon podcast, Boyz Nightz, where Connor's going to spill the tea about all of the Fortnite Friday guests. We're going to get more Elon conspiracy theories, as well as I really do want to hear about working with AJ and Big Justice. Wait, did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because it feels weird to say BJ.
Yeah,
So,
right.
But Connor, dude, thanks so much for joining us. Is there anything that you want to plug or talk about?
I mean, just like check out my Twitch and YouTube's and stuff. Like, I'm just ConnorEatsPants on everything. You'll find.
You'll find
Do you
it.
reckon I could get banned?
On like what?
That's like a challenge I've been doing lately, is getting banned in friends' chats.
Oh, in my chat?
Yeah, how strict are you? Do you reckon I can get in trouble?
I only mod people that don't want it, so it's not
very
as difficult.
hard.
Like one thing I really hate on Twitch is like chats where like it's really like lovey-dovey, or like the mods seem like they're way too into it. So every single person that I modded, I was just like out of the blue, I was like, "You're a mod now," and they're like, "I don't want to."
I don't want you to mod me. I want to get banned for
okay.
being cheeky.
Yeah, I mean, just like post like pornography or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
cause a ruckus.
Too easy.
Yeah.
I wanna
Too
just-
easy.
I'm gonna post your SSN.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to do
Anyway.
it good. Post a lat long. It's your like current location.
Yeah. See, my SS, not to keep on a tangent in the podcast, but like a few weeks ago, like I just was like, you get like a vocal stem sometimes where you just are saying something or like a song stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I was like muttering my SSN to myself.
That's so funny.
And I
Mother's
was like,
maiden name.
I was like, oh, like, I should not do
Oh
this.
shit. I mean, hey, it's leaked out there now, so we're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Can you guess it? If you're able to get my SSN 20% off all future merch, we will see you at the Capitol on January 6th of next
The
year.
discount code is his SSN.
No, stop.
Okay, fine.
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We
We
love
love
you.
you.
And we're sorry.
Boom!
Have you been watching the Mr. Beast show?
No, I have. I was waiting for it all to come out and then binge watch it.
Can you guess how Mr. Beast would open a show like this?
He's like, I bought $40 million a set, and the camera goes wide, and then
I am standing on $5 million of real money.
That's awesome. He should have just done like, The Amazing Race, but with like 20 creators.
What's the most amazing race?
Season 12.
Wow, actually, the perfect answer.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, or you want it?
Get you rich from me.